watch over all of us, to do the bidding of the city for our citizens. In your name we pray, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like for a motion to approve or disapprove the minutes, or do you have any changes to them from last month?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Carried unanimously, thank you.
There's no public comment.
No public, thank you. There's no public presentation either this week?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is there any, excuse me, do we have any old business, Jen?
We do. Wanted to update all of you. I don't know who was here, who was not here, that went over the policy, donation, sponsorships, naming rights. We did present that to City Council, and they had some requests to make a few changes, but we're very, very pleased that it was a very in-depth document. So great job to you all for getting that information out. So we will be changing it up a little bit, and then we'll bring that back to you all for those changes, and then from there, we're going to take that back to council for final approval. Also, to follow up on the master plan, we're almost there. We had a community meeting a couple weeks back, and I think we had about maybe 18, 20 people that showed up. That was pretty good participation for the city. I hope that we'd have a little bit more, but it was a very good discussion. And a lot of folks were very excited about the trails and what we can or can't do at the park, and just had a lot of interesting ideas. And so just wanted to give you guys an update on that. Wallace with Whitmer, Kiefer, and Jones and his crew will be putting the information together, and then they will be bringing that to you all probably at the next meeting for an approval of what you all think of that master plan process. And then from there, it will go to City Council for a final approval. And if it's approved by City Council, it becomes our adopted master plan for the park complex. This way it allows us to go after additional grant money, and then allows us to have an organized plan of action and how we're going to make upgrades to the park. So those are all of the old business updates.
Thank you. Is there any discussion over the minutes from June 10th? Then I ask if anybody would like to make a motion to approve them.
I'll make a motion.
A second. All in favor? All opposed? And it is carried. New business. Jen?
Okay. First, out in our audience, we have our wonderful interns. We have Miss Shelby Taylor, Sean Monday, and Cole
Chambliss. CH.
I'm going to keep saying Chambray, but it's not. So they are going to come forward to give a presentation. What they had to do as part of their intern task of the millions that we have given them was to do a overall risk assessment of the Richard Gray Park Complex. This is something that when I first got here, wanted to get done, and just, just hasn't had a chance to get all of it done. But this also helps in preparation of our master plan, so we can have a detailed report of exactly what's most important, what needs to be done first. A lot of the stuff we can, take care of quickly, and others not so much. But they worked very hard to put this together, and they've actually presented to department heads. So now this is their first public presentation. So the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Jen. Good afternoon, everyone. This is our Richard Gray Complex Park risk assessment. We were tasked with doing a risk assessment when we first got here. This is a very small, minute presentation of the whole document that we have. If you would like the whole document, Mrs. Jennifer would be able to get that for you. So we split the complex into 3 parts. It's easier to be looked at that way. Straight into the overview. Like I said, our we were tasked to do this risk assessment, to go through a fine-tooth comb to get every little thing. Our priorities are 1, 2, and 3. 1 being the worst, 2 being on the line, and 3 being something that we could fix now or later. So this is a breakdown of the whole complex itself. As you can see, there's percentages associated with each color. The one I want to bring to your attention is the priority 2. Now, these priority 2s are something that is very close to becoming a priority 1. So if these are things that are not taken into consideration in a timely fashion, there could be an over 50% in a priority 1 status.
So the first section of the park is the synthetic turf field and the parking lots closest to that field and the concession stand. In the first section that we found, pretty much all of our things that we're talking about today are priority 1 levels, just so you know that they're immediate needs. This is the sidewalk that's closest to the road, and it, as you can see, it's covered by a fence. And so that's pretty inaccessible. Not sure why that's there, but it's not in compliance with ADA. There's not very many sidewalks throughout the park. In the next section, bleacher access. There's no true access point to these bleachers on the back end of the football field. It's really grown up, and there's vines growing up all around it. It's not in compliance with ADA standards, and the ramp part is on the left-hand side if you're looking at it this way, and the most accessible part of the bleachers is the right-hand side. So if they wanted to get on that, they'd have to go all the way around, and there's no sidewalk area for them to get to. And in that storage shed that's near the football field, there are chemicals that are improperly labeled. Some are just like in containers that someone's brought from home. It's not in standards with OSHA at all. And that bottom right-hand picture, the exit sign, as you can see, it's really packed there, so no one can access that exit door if they needed to. These are like all in that section. A lot of them are coming from the concession stand area. There are no locked utility boxes throughout the park, and there's a lot of open and hanging wires that could be potentially dangerous in weather situations, and if anyone were to touch those wires together, that could be a problem.
Now going into section 2, as you see, this has the area for the new dog park. This area right here where it's just gravel, and the old dog park and the behind sections. So these shades have already been looked at, and they're going to be replaced. These are a priority 2, they're already being assessed. These signs on both entrances, both from Randall Street and the main access point, these have been taken down, and they're being taken into consideration for improvements and actual verbiage, unlike they had before. Now, throughout the whole facility, there are electrical boxes that are open to the public. We understand that there needs to be emergency access points where, in case of somebody getting electrocuted, they need to be able to turn off power to it. Public Works has been notified of this, and we're working through that.
Alright, so for our last section, section 3, goes around the baseball fields, the back soccer field, and near the pond. The first problem I noticed in this section, there's more hanging wires, both from hanging lights as well as scoreboards. It's unaesthetically pleasing, and also dangerous for the reasons that Shelby pointed out. Also, the most dangerous issue I found, they're broken covered ground boxes. These are scattered throughout the park, not just in this section. It's an obvious hazard. Somebody could step in it, break an ankle, so that needs to get fixed pretty quickly. But apparently those do get fixed by Public Works a lot, and they told us that it's a constant problem. So there might be something we can figure out to keep that from happening over and over again. And finally, open utility boxes. public should not have access to open utility boxes for obvious reasons, but also we found foreign objects in pretty much all of them. One of them we found an ice cream cone, so that was pretty interesting. And then our end goal, we want to fix the smaller and easier problems as soon as possible, and then find funding to fix the bigger problems. And the overall goal is to make the park safer as well as aesthetically pleasing while adhering to ADA standards.
Are all the wires that you're talking about, are they all live?
They are not.
They are not.
They are not, but for those that don't know, it still presents a problem.
Oh,
It just needs to be
absolutely. I just
fixed.
want to make sure we're not asking you for like.
Any other questions?
Kevin, any questions? Come on, my former PRT director.
Yeah, no, I
Feel
think
free.
it's obvious that there's definitely some immediate needs out there, whether they're live or not, these
Yep.
type of things, and the open boxes have to be live. So to be able to access, especially a small child, with sticking a stick in there or anything like that, there's a tremendous amount of power going through those boxes. It must be incredible, so. But it's good to see that most of the things like that are a quick fix, or a simple fix. It's not like you have to shut down anything to keep, per se, that, you throw some temporary locks on it until permanent stuff can be done, or things like that. So that's good to see.
Yeah, the document that they worked on, I think was what, 96 pages, something like that?
Yeah.
And it's so large that we can't share it with you all,
Yeah.
so, I mean, it's literally this thick. But it goes into very lengthy depths of understanding of each section. So I commend the interns, they have done a fantastic job on getting all this done. Selfishly saying, I wouldn't have had the time to be able to do this, so we're very, very thankful. And I think they completed it in like no time flat. It was like, okay, we need you guys to do this, and within a couple of weeks it was done and completed, so we're very, very proud of their work.
Yeah, it's not an easy project to do, but a very important one.
Yes.
So moving forward, we're gonna work with Neil and Public Works and actually move forward past this just assessment and get stuff rolling with it.
Mr. Parsons is our risk assessment director, I think is this one of his titles. So there are some forms that we have, so they're gonna put all that information into it, and just really go after a lot of different funding opportunities that we can have. A lot of the other stuff is just basic upgrades, which ties into the master plan, but some of this stuff has to be done immediately, and having it in a document, having it presented, now it's live, so the public sees it, it puts more importance, and takes precedence quickly, so we were, like I said, again, very, very pleased, and good partnership all around. Any other questions?
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Great, thank you. Jennifer, dog park and formal RF?
Okay, so, I was on vacation and got back, Thursday morning and missed part of the city council workshop. And I do have to go back, I just haven't had a chance, to go back and see, I think, the council wanted to have us look at some other locations, which we have done. We've vetted all of the locations that we own within the city. So we'll follow up and do a workshop with council, but wanted to let you know that our informal RFP was due on Friday, and we did receive one bid, well, actually two. One is out of our price range, our project is $120,000. And then the other one comes in right at 120. So we're gonna vet all the information, and then from there, we'll take that back to council for final approval, to see whether or not, which company they wanna go with. And then from there, hopefully, we will be able to, start phase one of the dog park. So it's, that was the one comment I think that we had in the community meeting for the master plan, that I think a lot of folks were, concerned that the dog park wasn't gonna be utilized as much, and we have a lot of folks that do utilize it. We have people that come down here at 10 o'clock at night, that walk through the park with their dogs. It's crazy. And I think they had some concerns with, people, abandoning their animals there and all that kind of stuff, but I don't foresee any of that's gonna happen. But we are gonna do due diligence for council and go ahead and work through a workshop with them so that they feel comfortable and confident, and that you all do as well. This isn't anything new. The dog park that we have now technically isn't a dog park anymore, but that's what people are using it for. It's not safe. It was built on basically a landfill, for a lack of better term. It's where all the construction trash went to, and so after it rains and it starts to kind of filter down, the glass and trash starts to come back up. And it's also just, it's very outdated and just not a very large space, and just, you know, it's just not adequate for human or dog use. So just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. So that's kind of on hold right now until we do our workshop with council and they have all their answers, or all of their questions answered, excuse me, and that everyone feels comfortable and confident about it. So that is the only new business that I have.
Any questions for Jen? Okay, then we're gonna go back to Jen and ask her about the director's report.
Okay, the upcoming events and programs, I feel out of whack because I don't have my, my little newsletter. Shelby, for those of you, I'm pretty sure I put it in the email to you all, was the one who did our last, was it July? Yeah, July. Newsletter, but we couldn't get it to save PDF. It was a pretty huge document. So just going over some of the basics, wanted to let everyone know we had a huge success at the 4th off Main. I was there, the interns were there, and I think that's all that, nope, Kathy was there, I'm sorry, and trying to think if anyone,
Carrie.
who?
Carrie.
Carrie?
Carrie.
Yes, Terry was there with the Barracudas, and Sherry was there. So we did have some representation from our commission, and that was very well recognized. A lot of people were very excited to see commission members down there. And that always gets, you know, people pumped and excited, you know, so it's not just sitting behind a dais and, you know, just talking about stuff, but we're actually doing it. But we had between 600 to 700 people down there. Great fireworks show. The food trucks were amazing. Hong Kong foodie was my favorite. I think I went back 2 or 3 times. The guy probably thought I was a stalker. They had barbecue. I ate barbecue. We bought from everybody. So it was awesome. We had lots of free games for the kids, and then the band was Muddy Creek, and they did a phenomenal job. So it was a really cool block party for our community. Moving along in July, as if we don't have enough, this Friday night, if you have your kids and want to come out, we've got Incredibles 2 is going to be playing. Looks like the weather's going to be cooperative. I believe it starts at 8 or 8:30. We've got some free giveaways for the kids, so that'll be exciting. And that's, again, on the 19th, this Friday. The very next day, on Saturday, because PRT works 24/7, we have, is it
Family Fun Game Day.
Family Fun Game Day. And that's, again, on the 20th. That's going to be from 10 to 11:30. And then on the 26th, and also too, to let you know, this is all part of National Park and Recreation Month. July is recognized nationally. So part of what our interns were doing was tasked to do special programs and events. So the games one is going to be handled by Miss Shelby. And then on the 26th is going to be Nature Night, and that'll be handled by Mr. Cole. And that is 6:30 to 7:30, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. And then the following day, on Saturday, Sean is going to take us through a water throwdown adventure. It's again on the 27th, and that will be from 10 to 11:30. We are posting quite a bit of stuff on Facebook. We've also started an Instagram page. The interns have started it. Getting a lot of feedback, trying to get our name out there, and just market the department. So those are some of the new things that are coming up just for this month. The newsletter is out. We will be having our new newsletter coming up soon. Feels like I just sent you all this information and we're turning right around to send it out again. So basketball update, I think I had a few folks from the public that want to know when that's going to start. We are probably looking at sometime in August before that gets started. But it will, once we start, it'll move very quickly. We're building covered shelters over that and then redoing the basketball court. So that'll be something that the public can see that we are doing these improvements, and they're going to be very excited for that. So, and then of course we've got football programs. It's fall. Our calendars are filling up with Tormenta. They're doing some free programs on Fridays here in Hardeeville for the community. We've got our Hardeeville Canes that will be starting along with the Hardeeville Bluffton Barracudas. So we are, and John Paul too will be playing home football as well. So we are going to be filling up quick and fast.
Soccer registration.
Yes, thank you. Soccer registration is ongoing. I think it closes August the 2nd. So anyone can register online through our Rec Desk account. It's super easy. And we also have Fill the Bus campaign. We'll be doing that through Sun City. We do it annually with Sun City. And all of those supplies are donated to Hardeeville students. And it's, for any of you that have not, well, I know Kevin, I think you were there. Was it last year or did you do the Fill the Sleigh?
I did
Or Santa's Toy Box?
yes, I did the toy box and the
Okay.
bus is at my house as well.
Okay. The interns will get to see how much supplies Sun City donates. And we always welcome any other neighborhoods that want to donate. We do have drop-offs here at City Hall. We'll have those boxes put out probably in the next week or two. But it is a massive undertaking. We have a huge regular-sized school bus, and it's completely filled to the top with stuff. So it just shows how giving our community is, and it's really great to be a part of that. So, and I think that's everything. I'm sure I'm missing something, but I think that's enough for now. But other than that, that's pretty much it. We'll keep you updated on all of the other projects as well, and as we get more information, we'll certainly get you guys updated and the public as well. That's all I have.
Okay, does anybody have anything to add or any questions? I'd like to just say that the one issue that's been strong for me from the very beginning has been the fact that our community continues, and it's nobody's fault except location more than anything. We don't get the information on any of this stuff. I don't know, it comes to Brana, it comes to me, and that's pretty much where it stops. And I know a lot of my friends who came down on the 4th on Main, we had a whole big section of chairs, and they had a great time. And they are saying to me constantly, why aren't we told about this stuff? So I don't know what the solution is, but
Do
it's
you all have captains or one person that does?
Our community itself, because we are fairly new still, is so new that we don't have a lot of anything organized.
Okay.
Mona is our quote life coach at this point, and I think she would be, and I do have a phone number that I can give you on her.
Okay, yeah, I
She
can email
might be
her
the
so
best
she can
one.
get that out.
If she'll be allowed to is another story.
Okay.
Because Minto and Margaritaville don't often let her advertise things that are not directly their program. I don't know why, but that's what it is. But there is, and that's just on our side of the street, on the side that Brana and Vicky live on. They have a whole different community with the same complaints.
Yeah, that's kind of how Sun City is too. We have
Yes.
different block captains. I know, like Kevin, you live in Sun City, you've got one community that's got stuff, and then I think Beth handles, with us, I think there's 14 different communities that she sends out, and there's one representative. And from that representative, they send out the information to everybody else. Instead of us trying to, give the information to all of Sun City, they won't allow that, so.
Right.
But if you guys have meetings or anything, homeowner
No,
meetings?
we technically are not a homeowners association yet. We're too
Right.
small.
Do you have anywhere we can post flyers?
No.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Yeah, we can come by and put stuff, well, we can't put it in your mailbox, But we can leave stuff on the door, but then you also find sometimes people get a little like, what are you doing in your neighborhood or whatever.
Let me make sure that you have a couple of them, phone numbers, and then we can figure that out and try to figure out.
You wanna give me those right after?
Yeah, right afterwards, yes.
Okay. All right.
And just FYI also, we do, our area also does a fill the bus.
Yes.
But we do it more for the teachers versus the kids.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of us have been teachers, but we have no problem about the people tying into that, and buying supplies for the teachers themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having been a substitute there when I first moved down here, we found out that the teachers were paying for everything, including Xerox ink, and paper, so we started providing that stuff.
Okay. Fill the desk campaign.
That's pretty much what it is.
Okay.
Okay, if there's nothing else, then I will ask for an adjournment. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?